How's it going, everyone? Back today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about common misconceptions and myths with grading, graded cards, and then also kind of get into my recommendations for card storage. We're going to be talking about graded versus raw and the reasons why I like both. I mean, I really do like both. You know, we'll start off with the reasons to grade, right? Why do we grade cards? A lot of people grade them for value, right? Maybe they want them to retain value. They want them to be more valuable than a raw card. Like, you know, you can look back here. This is my Carmelo Anthony 0304 Topps Chrome Refractor rookie card. That one you can look up on eBay and look at past sales and get a pretty good idea of what a 9.5 would go for if you did want to sell it. And then you have that idea of what the card is going to get, right? So that, you know, that's a reason, investment, whatever. It's all reason, right, for grading cards. Now, what are the reasons not to grade, right? You want to store the card for just your personal enjoyment. So this was a recent one I picked up, this Nene rookie card, and I really like this card. I threw it in a mag and I have it in one of my 2-row boxes, and I really like to store it in this mag just for taking out and kind of viewing. I'm always able to pull the card out of the mag too and look at it. I find myself doing that from time to time just because, you know, I like looking at the cards the way they came out of the pack, you know. That's just me. Here's another one we'll go over. This is a kind of a recent pickup. This is a Dwayne Wade Platinum Medallion from Flair Ultra. And we're going to look at all this stuff. So yeah, that's another reason not to grade, right? You're going to keep it for your PC. It's for your personal enjoyment. Now, let's start talking about some myths. Now, this, you know, you might have a different opinion than I do on this, and that's perfectly fine. No big deal there. But myth to me is that graded cards offer the best protection. You know, kind of. We'll start looking at these cards, right? Okay, so if you want to talk about protection, I'd say, and you're looking at graded, BGS is going to be by far the best protection. Reason being is this inner sleeve that they put the card in, right? You can kind of see it here. Take it out of this case a little bit. Yeah, so, you know, you got the inner sleeve, you got a pretty thick case, right? This to me, if you're going to grade for protection, you should probably be going with BGS, right? That's just my opinion on it. Because when you look at PSA, they do not have that inner sleeve. It's kind of like, you know, it'd be in a mag or something. The card can bounce around. I mean, you can hear that, right? I got another example here, this Corey Majetti that I have in a PSA case as well. Yeah, it's not super secure in there. Whereas if I do that with the Carmelo, it's not moving. It's in that inner sleeve, right? Same thing with I got this SGC. I don't have a lot of SGC graded, but this one moves around as well. You can't really hear it, but there's less of a gap in this case. And now I don't want to just sit here and say all PSA bang around in the case, because as actually Steve pointed out in his video, a lot of his cards that he graded recently seem to be in the, you know, the case a lot, the case around the card is a lot tighter. And you know, that's actually the case for some of my cards too. Like, I don't know, I don't really have any other examples here sitting right next to me, but yeah, it's kind of give or take. But just be wary of that, because, you know, these things ship around. And I had a really good example of this, but I couldn't find the card. I had a, what was it, a 2007 Joakim Noah Topps Chrome Refractor rookie in a PSA 9 case, and I bought the card for, you know, under 10 bucks or something like that. But when I got it, I noticed the top of the card was pretty scratched up. So I busted it out, and sure enough, yeah, it was pretty scratched up. It also had a good bend to it, and my thought was that it had maybe just been shipped around a lot or handled a lot or something like that. So the card itself had rubbed against the top of the case. I'm going to show an example. Here's an 0607 Topps Chrome. You can probably see it, but check out that bend. So I'm going to talk about how you can store something like that, because I've seen a lot of like optic cards, even Prism, like more recent ones, where they have this bend. It's really common on like refractor style or chrome style cards, right? So yeah, myth that graded cards are the best protection for your cards. In my opinion, no, it's not. But you know, likewise, just as we saw that Dirk here, and then my other, you know, refractor in the case, you know, your cards can move around in a mag too, so that can still happen. So we're going to talk about how to kind of avoid that in a minute here. But yeah, that to me is it's a myth. You know, a lot of people say, oh, get PSA cards and then they're not going to get scratched like they are in a mag. Well, no, that's not true at all. You just have to get, if you're getting a mag, you have to get the proper size, and I'll show you that here in a minute. We'll go over that. Now, I would say, as far as protection goes for graded cards, I would put, again, a BGS at the top, and then, you know, everything else that doesn't have that inner sleeve kind of after that, right? PSA, SGC, whatever else is out now. I know there's a couple new grading companies, can't remember the names of those. But regardless, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for just protection for your cards, you're not going to sell them. You want them to be graded, probably BGS, right? But again, it's rare, and I got to point out that it's very rare that you're going to get a PSA one that's, even if it's moving around like that, you know, that it's going to scratch the card. I've only run across it a couple times, and I've had plenty of graded cards that I've had, that I still have, or that I've sold, or whatever. So it's not common, guys, and I'm not sitting here saying that that's going to be a super common thing to happen. I'm just saying that it's possible. Just like a mag, it's possible they're going to get scratched up. It's just, you know, this is the risk of having it stored in plastic, essentially. Well, touching like a rougher plastic edge. So, yeah, that's really what I would say is your best bet for graded, if you want graded to get the best protection. Then, if we move on to raw cards, mags are great, and so you can store your cards in a mag without issues. Just get the right size. And what I'm talking about, the right size, is especially something like a chrome card here, and we're going to take a look at these two cases that I have. So there's an A, but I wanted to show this case. This is a 35 point. I don't buy these anymore, but I'm going to show you what this looks like when you put like a curved card in it, right? I don't know if you can really see this on camera, but this is 35 point. It's going to be hard to see, but maybe from this angle, yeah, check that out. It's not going to work, because when you put the case down, it's going to collapse right on top of the card, and basically you're going to have the top pressed right against the card. Not great. So get the correct size case. That's the key. If you got a chrome card and it's super straight, I wouldn't even suggest going with a 35. I'd go at least 55 point. And so here's one that I have. I'm pretty sure this is a 55 point. It might be 75, but we're going to put it in there, and look, you can still see it kind of popping up. So you want to just make sure that when you press the top down on the case, it's not going to rub on the top. So this one, if this one's 55, I'm, you know, probably for this card, I might move up to like 100, right? Because then I know for sure that it's not going to be popping up over kind of the recessed area, right? So that's my suggestion there, is just make sure you get the right size case, you know. This one being pretty sure 55, and then this is going to be hard to see on camera, but you know, just figured I'd try to show it at least. Like I said, I don't even buy 35 anymore, because even if I have a card, like a lot of maybe the Topps paper cards or older vintage cards that are just paper based and not the chrome or whatever, they will work okay in the 35 point. But I find that I use mostly the 55 just to make sure I have room around it and stuff like that. Now, if you really want to get into storing it super securely in a mag, what you can do is you can take, and this would work even if you have like a little bit of an undersized case, right? You put your card in here, throw a penny sleeve on top of it, okay? This kind of has the same basic protection as like the BGS, right? Because you're putting a sleeve and you're having pretty much a hard shell case around it, and then you can just pop the case right on top of it, and then you have that penny sleeve kind of in between the card and the case itself, so way less likely to scratch, you know. So that's an option. I've done this on a couple cards where maybe the surface is more susceptible to damage or scratching, or I want to keep it more secure, and I'd just store it like this if I'm not going to grade it, you know, which I'm not really grade to begin with, but if I was going to consider grading versus that, I would just take a look if I wanted to leave it in the PC or not, and I would usually, if I'm concerned about the top, just put that penny sleeve right on top. Now, the next option here, I think, is the best way to store your cards long term if you're concerned about the condition of the card, right? That is top loader, penny sleeve, and then I go the extra step of putting these superior fit kind of sleeves on the case so that I can store them in a box and they're not touching other penny or not penny sleeves, but other top loaders getting scratched up, because you know when these are next to each other and you move them around a bunch, they do get scratched up. So this is pretty nice in that it keeps the case itself from scratching. But yeah, this is the best way, in my opinion, to store cards if you're concerned about condition and you know you're not interested in like grading BGS or something like that. I'm going to show you what these are here. So here's the superior fit sleeves that I have, and basically these are like a team bag or whatever, right, for purpose of explaining it. But what happens is you have this kind of tapered edge, so if you look at it when you close it up, it looks a lot better than like a normal team bag would, where you have like stuff sticking out the side, and it fits really well. And if I'm going to store my card in a box, I'm usually going to go with that option. And what's cool about these Superior Fit, just giving them a quick shout out, is that they do make they make them for everything. So here's like graded ones, right? Actually, I took that Carmelo out, and here's one of the Superior Fit for the Carmelo. I'll throw it back in there to show how it works. But they fit really snugly in there, and then you just tape that back down, and there you go. And it's not going to be scratched up if you have other graded cards in your box. They're not going to touch together and get scratches on the top of it if you're concerned about that. So a really cool product that I definitely recommend. And then I figured I'd mention it too, is another option for storing your cards if you're not looking to grade, right? It's just a binder. And I've showed off some of my binders before, but let's see if we can move some of these cards and let me show you this. Here's like this cards all around here, so it's hard to show this binder. But here's my Z Folio. There it is. So that you can get these Z Folios. This is a 9-pocket version, and for like sets and stuff, I absolutely love these Z Folios. So this is the 9-pocket version. They also make like a 12-pocket version if you have you know, sets that are larger that you want to display on a one page, right? And the cool part about these Z Folios is that these little pockets which slide in from the side here. Steve showed off his yesterday too. I think he had the 12-pocket version that he showed, but yeah, you can put a penny sleeve on the card, and then you can put the card with a penny sleeve right into the pocket here. And it's super secure way to store. Now, yeah, it's like a soft sleeve or softer material binder, but you know, you can close it up, you can zipper it up. This to me is like super secure way of storing your cards. It's maybe only second to that penny sleeve top holder, superior fit slash team bag, you know, way that I mentioned a minute ago. But yeah, this is how I store most of my Nuggets stuff, you know, that I have sets of. Like I've shown my chrome binders off and stuff like that. This is a binder I'm working on currently that's all kind of non-chrome cards, you know, and sets and stuff like that. Like here's the autographic set, and yeah, just a cool way to store stuff. Yeah, so anyway, those are your different options of storage, and again, you know, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this stuff, guys. I'm not trying to promote one way or another. Just mainly just say that you have other options out there, and ultimately you don't have to grade to get a nice way to store your cards that you can make sure that the card's safe and secure, right? That's one thing I just wanted to go over, and the fact that, you know, I've got graded cards too. I buy I actually buy a lot of, or used to, I don't do it much anymore, but I buy a lot of like PSA graded Topps Chrome rookie refractor cards. That's a collection of mine. That's a PC of mine that I've been after for years. Maybe I'll have like a separate video on all that, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the rest of your Friday.